We want to turn now to yesterday's elections. New York Democrat Pat Ryan is heading to the nation's capital after winning the special election for the state's 19th district.
Ryan gained traction by campaigning on abortion rights. He ultimately secured 52% of the vote, defeating Republican Mark Molinaro in a very close race. He'll serve out the remaining 4 months of Antonio Delgado's term. Delgado was tapped to serve as New York's lieutenant governor, but Ryan's work isn't over. State redistricting is pitting him against Republican Assemblyman Colin Schmidt in November for the 18th district.
For more now, we are actually joined by Congressman-elect Pat Ryan from Kensington, New York. So thanks for being here. Pat, imagine you're feeling pretty good after last night's victory. What do you think it means, though, because it's a personal victory for you, but we're hearing a lot from Democrats who think that this is a harbinger of things to come, especially when it comes to questions about campaigning on abortion rights.
I am so proud that our community stepped up at this moment where I believe that fundamental rights and freedoms are under threat. Democracy is at risk. And this was really a referendum on freedom in America. And we sent a loud and clear message here that when people try to take away rights and freedoms we have fought and worked and rallied to secure, Americans will stand up and say that that is not who we are as a country. So I'm really proud that our community was part of sending that message. And I do think that momentum will continue.
So your district, the 19th district, is really this rare example of a true swing district where you had Barack Obama, as you know, carrying that district in 2008 and 2012, then went to Donald Trump, and then swung back to Joe Biden in 2020. So given how purple that district is, what specifically do you think the takeaways are from your victory? In addition to the topic of abortion rights, Republicans went after you on the issue of crime, which we know is something that we have heard about nationwide as well. What were some of the other takeaways for you?
Well, I think the big takeaway was with democracy at threat, with fundamental rights being taken away, with people worried like myself when I dropped my 3-year-old and 7-month-old at daycare that they might get gunned down. Folks want someone who's going to stand up and fight and be clear and unequivocal about the stakes in our country right now. And that's really what we've done in this campaign. My opponent in this race used a very tired playbook to try to lie and deceive. And clearly voters saw right through that. So much of my message and focus on this campaign has been talking about the fact that for me, going to West Point, serving in combat, really putting my life on the line for this country, I think this is a moment for patriots to step up, regardless of party, and say the far, far extreme direction that we're going in taking away these hard-earned rights is just totally out of step with where the American people are. We saw that in Kansas. We saw it here last night. And I do think we'll continue to see that message. We really, I think, tapped a powerful nerve here where people are waking back up that democracy is so fragile and we have to constantly be vigilant.
Pat, it's August, and you are now looking at running again in November. Because of redistricting, you have to try and seek a full term in just a couple of months for the 18th district. Are you considering any campaign adjustments? And in terms of your message to Elaine, does it work in particular because you have that military experience, because you are approaching things from perhaps more of a centrist perspective than some of your other fellow Democrats?
I think I'm approaching it from an American perspective. I think I'm approaching it from a unifying perspective where we're taking issues that so many thought were divisive or could pull us apart, but actually reminding people that we share these as fundamental values and principles in the country, going back to our founding documents. And the idea that when freedom is at risk, when rights are being trampled on, we stand up. That's literally the founding of our country. And so I think that's a message that anyone and everyone should be delivering. And it clearly is connecting with folks. I just think people are very, very tired and so frustrated with the pitting of us against each other for personal political gain, rather than doing the work to really help people rise above that and bring us back together. And to me, this is a very hopeful sign, not just politically, but much more so morally for our country.
Given the political landscape in the country, just very quickly before we let you go, do you think the midterms are going to be a referendum on the party in power, your party, the Democratic Party?
No, I think it's a much bigger referendum on the future direction of our country. Are we the country that is for freedom for all, for safety for all, for democracy for all? I believe that we are. I think our win last night showed that we are. And if we rally people to that cause, that will be the referendum. And that is desperately needed right now in this country.
Congressman-elect Pat Ryan, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.